What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 28 of the Slowly Society podcast. My name is Hugo from Hugo Smokes. And again, our buddies 1T, Silver Cigars, and DC are out for the night, but they will be back in a future episode. Let's go around the room. We'll leave our guest for last because he's the best. We'll introduce ourselves.
What's up, everybody? I'm Randall from Cigar Scope. Are we talking about what we're pairing and everything?
If you want, sure. Stage is yours.
So smoking one of the Tribal Trilogy cigars here. Uche, can you tell me again what's it called? I don't want to get the name wrong.
Ubaji.
Okay. I got an Ubaji, and I'm pairing it with a Carolina rye whiskey.
Awesome.
And yeah.
Nice. All right, guys. What's up? My name is Frank. I'm from Texas Cigar Society. I'm also smoking the Ubaji, and I'm pairing it with an Imperial IPA.
Awesome. And now our guest. Our guest is Ubache Obawa.
Yep. So Uche Obor from Tribal Trilogy is also Dapper Cigar Lounge. I'm also smoking the Ubaji, and I'm pairing it with an Irish whiskey.
Awesome. 2 whiskey, guys. Actually 3, because I have a bourbon here. It's a bourbon whiskey, which we'll see how the cigar develops after the first third, and then I'll decide to go with this. It's a 96 proof, so not that high. I read the cigar is supposed to be pretty light, but you're gonna tell us more about that. And also got some sparkling water. So let's start off by how about you tell us how did you get into cigars?
All right. So I started smoking cigars a few years ago. Basically, doing my fraternity and a couple guys golfing and things. They taught me how to smoke. I started my own lounge in 2021, Dapper Cigar Lounge. Started out with mobile, just doing parties, weddings, and things like that, selling other people's cigars. And about a year ago, I decided that I wanted to come out with my own cigar. So I launched in November. So that's how we got here today with the Tribal Trilogy. But I'm basically just hanging out with friends and learning how to smoke.
Okay, so how many years did you run the mobile cigar bar?
So it's actually still going. So during COVID, so I wanted to actually open up my own cigar lounge. COVID hit, and I was trying to figure out what I can do to actually, still get a cigar bar. So I actually bought a trailer, a toy trailer.
Yeah.
And I just decked it out. I had nothing but time during COVID, so I gutted it out. Every night I was out there. I mean, I painted it. I did the chairs and everything. So that started in 2021. That one seats 9, two big screen TVs, a bathroom, surround sound, music, and things like that. And then last year, April, actually bought another one. So now I have 2. So that one seats 14. That one is more like it's 8 theater style seats and then 2 booth seats and then a big screen TV in the front. So I came up with those concepts because if you think about it, when you go into a cigar lounge, like some cigar lounges are big, some are little, but you look, it's always like a little pocket. It's not like everybody's together unless, of course, you're like in a meeting or something. But like it's normally, 4, 8, 12 people just smoking and having a good time. So I created that. So I come to you or you come to me. Weddings, baby showers, you name it, I've done it. So it's definitely has become a thing. My goal is to actually have a fleet of them. I'm on number 2 right now.
That's a phenomenal, bro. And you're actually located in the DNV area, also known as the DC, Maryland, Virginia area on the East Coast, correct?
You got it. Yep.
Dropping to North Carolina.
Yeah. Actually, I was gonna come down. There's an event 2 weeks from now that I was supposed to come to. I think it's at Black River Tobacco, but I ended up not being able to go. A couple of my buddies are going, but shoot, man, I'd love to drive it down there. We drove it to South Carolina a few weeks ago, so North Carolina is pretty much that's closer.
So this question is kind of like right away in line with what you just said. Do you have a mileage charge outside that area?
Yeah, so anything outside of 50 miles from the well, where I live at, which is Fort Washington. So I live at the most southernest tip of Maryland. So what I do is anything within 50 miles, there's no charge. But anything outside of that, it's 35 cents per mile. So the same thing you have to do on taxes when you're doing any type of mileage.
Awesome, awesome. And then, so is the mobile cigar deal per person, per hour? How does that work?
So it all depends on the event. So most of the events, what it is, somebody will rent me. That includes 20 to 30 cigars. That includes the venue, that includes a bottle, and that includes like my cut and lighting fees. So what happens is if you rent me, that's how it goes. But say for instance on a weekend, I used to have wine down Sundays. So what we would do is I would have wine, I would have Hennessy strawberry, and what you do is you pay basically a cut and light fee. You buy 2 cigars, or you pay a sitting fee just like any other lounge. And it's a 2 hour minimum. So that's normally $30. So you get 2 sticks in the drink, which I think is pretty standard for any cigar lounge that you go into.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, and you're bringing the service to them. They don't have to drive. Don't have to worry about transportation, right? So it's perfect for, like you said, for like what, weddings, birthday parties, divorces.
Yeah. Anything underneath the sun.
Saturdays.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested, it's called Dapper Cigar Lounge, right? And
Yep.
I know we follow you on Instagram at Tribal Trilogy Cigars, but do you have a separate account for the mobile lounge, or it's the same thing?
Yeah, so it's two. So the mobile lounge is Dapper with 2 P's Cigar Lounge, and that'll pop up. I have a IG, Facebook, and a website, and then of course the Tribal Trilogies is Tribal Trilogy by DC, which the DC
Awesome,
is Dapper Cigar Lounge as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
and at first I thought the DC was your name. That's why I was like messaging you DC, and I'm like, and you didn't correct me, which thank you.
Good,
But then
that's all good.
when I was doing the research, I was like, oh, that's not his name.
Nice. And so you offer like a wide variety, I'm assuming, of cigars from mild to medium to full, or
On my line,
Yes.
no, on the
Oh,
on the lounge.
yeah, on the lounge. We'll talk about
So,
the actual
so on
cigars
the
right now.
lounge, yeah. So basically, for your event, I curate the event how you want it. So I talk like, hey, what do you normally smoke? So the charge for every cigar is $13. So say for instance, you say, hey, I don't know what I want. You get a $13 stick. But if they say, hey, you know what I want, I don't know, Ligas. So, I just have to upcharge for the cigars. But basically, I make sure I have something that everybody smokes if I'm actually doing an event.
Okay.
um, or I curate it to the customer. So, like, say for instance, weddings, I normally do mild to medium because you don't want anybody smoking a bowl at your wedding and falling over somewhere who's never smoked. Um, if I poured up on you guys, I would probably first I'd ask you what you smoke, but more than likely I would bring medium to bowl because you guys smoke on a regular. So it all depends on, I try to curate it to my customers, and if I don't know my customers, I make sure I have flavored, of course, because no matter what anybody says in this in my time that I've been in business in 2021, there's 50% flavored
Yeah.
smoker. So I make sure I have that, and then I
Yeah.
have something that everybody can grab from mild all the way to bold.
Absolutely. And it's always that first time smoker, or like a smoker that doesn't smoke very occasionally. They always ask for like there's a more higher chance for them to ask for a flavored cigar, right? So that's always the case. So that's fine.
Also, and also with events, you can't control. There's always going to be people that are invited that maybe don't smoke. So, they're going to be it's part of the event. So they're going to be in there and they're going to be talking, and then might turn them into a customer, which is great. I like that you curate it too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you should, right? Like that's awesome. So all right, so that's the mobile deal. So then you're in there for 4 years, and then you say, hey, I want to create my own cigar line, right? How does that come about, and how many different cigars do you have in
Yeah,
your trilogy line?
So during COVID, of course, like I said, I started out what I wanted to do. I wanted to do just like wineries and things like that, and it just exploded into different events. And I said, there's a few mobile cigar lounges out here. So I said, what can I make? How can I make mine stand out? So I reached out to a couple cigar rollers because I wanted to learn how to roll. A guy in the local area by the name of Neil with Uptop Cigars. He taught me how to roll. I was rolling his cigars, and then he actually sent his, found somebody in Nicaragua who makes his cigars. So me and him have been selling his cigars for about a year. Um, and I was doing so good with that, and I actually wanted my own because, of course, with a lounge, you're like, hey, you know what? You need a cigar that is with the lounge. So really, it metamorphosized out of me finding the love more of selling cigars with Neil and actually coming up with, hey, you know what, I want my own. With him teaching me how to roll, I got to learn what leaf I like, what leaf I don't like, what leaf I like to roll. So that's kind of how I curated my cigars. One thing
Okay.
that I found, so I actually have four cigars. I have
Good cigar.
the Ubaji, which is what we're smoking today. So that's our mild. Then I have the Ogbodo, which would be our medium.
Obado.
Oh, yeah. And then we have the Ukoma, which would be our bold. And then I don't have the last one, but it's called Omaleche, and it's a that one is a five inch.
Okay.
So um and
And one thing, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm looking at some notes over here. One thing that I find very interesting is that you named your cigars, um, symbolizing dialect of Nigeria, which is your homeland, right?
yeah, so my dad's from Nigeria, my mom's Jamaican, and what ended up happening was I'm like, hey, so my real name is Ucheuma. Everybody calls me Uche.
Okay.
The origin of the name is Igbo, which like so in Nigeria you have Igbo, Hausa, and you have Yoruba, right? So everybody in Nigeria knows those three. So as soon as you hear my name, they're like, "Oh, you're Igbo," and I always have to say yes, but in actuality, I'm not. What happened was my dad's village, they broke off from the Igbo people and they started their own thing. So I wanted to actually do twofold. I wanted to bring Nigeria into the cigar, um, more knowledge of Nigeria into the cigar, but I wanted to also give you a bird's eye view of my country. So,
Awesome.
or my actual tribe. So when you start looking up the names, like say for instance, if you Googled it, it's gonna bring you to, my river state tribe in Nigeria if you wanted to do more research on the Nigerian tribe. So that's basically what ended up happening. I wanted it to be all of me pretty much. So like every cigar that I came up with, I made it for the customer, but honestly, like I smoke these cigars every day. Like so I made it
Okay.
for something that I wanted, like with the test of time, I found out, a lot of people wanted torpedoes. I got a torpedo, but for me, I like Habano wrappers. So my torpedo is a Habano with a little bit of spice on it,
Mhm.
different thirds. And like I said, you go through my sticks, it's a morning stick, it's an anytime stick, it's a nighttime stick, and then it's one that like, whatever you want to do, you party, you can smoke my cigar. So that's basically, you're absolutely right. The mass has Nigerian origin, and I wanted it to be strong because most people smoke cigars strong, and there's a warrior in Nigeria, and this warrior is was bringing my cigars out.
It's burning
Awesome.
really
Awesome.
well.
Yeah, like look at the ash is
Yeah, that's pretty tight.
pretty stacked.
Can't be mad about that.
Yeah. So as far as like your cigars, you said you learned how to roll. Did you actually participate in the making of your cigars, or were they manufactured somewhere else and then imported into the states?
So with what I did was, so I ordered my leaf from a place in Connecticut, and I played around with the blends that I wanted.
Okay.
So once I found out what blends I wanted, my manufacturer in Nicaragua, Gomez Cigars, he sent me a couple samples. We went back and forth until it was perfect how I wanted it to be, and that's where we are today.
So you actually crafted the Liga, sent the recipe to the cigar factory, and they mass produce your cigars.
You got it.
Wow, that's impressive, man.
Appreciate it.
So from never rolling cigars, you grab some leaf, some product, and you made the Liga.
Well, no. So I originally, like I said, Neil taught me how to roll with Up Top. So
Hmm.
I did some rolling with him, did a couple rolling events, and then like I said, I was home playing myself, trying to learn, trying to perfect. Because originally we used to roll his cigars, and then you know demand actually, supply couldn't meet demand. So but with my stick, same way. I was like, hey, you know what? What do you like? What smells good, what tastes good. Like, say for instance, when I roll, like, I don't like to roll Connecticut because you know it's very brittle. So I know at the
Okay.
end of the day, I didn't want this. I'm coming out with a boutique cigar. This is a new cigar, so I need my cigars to be perfect, because if you smoke it one time and it's not good, you may never pick that cigar back up unless somebody gives it to you. So presentation, flavor, and just how good it looks, that's where I was going with it. So that's why you don't see, Connecticut and things, or like, say for instance, for me, like, Habano is very stretchy. It's really easy. Like, it doesn't show the imperfections like Connecticut. Connecticut, you have to be perfect. Like, one
Yeah.
leak can throw the whole thing off.
Okay. Awesome. And usually
Good
Connecticut,
strategy.
you're talking about shade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not like broadleaf.
Yeah,
So
yeah, sorry.
yeah, and that's a good point you bring up because I would say maybe 3 out of 5 cigars that, let's say, I have in my collection use a Habano wrapper. So there's a lot of cigars out in the market that uses Habano, whether it's Oscuro, a lighter one, Ecuadorian, different places of the southern hemisphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty interesting.
It's a good strategy also to realize like there are some strengths and rolling consistently over going for every blend instantly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because you want to build that name up first of consistency, and then mess around. There's plenty of times to mess around with Connecticut's and all that.
Hell yeah, nice, nice, nice. So you're off of 4 cigars. This is the Ubaji, you said, right?
Yes.
So what does Ubaji mean?
Ubaji means roots.
Roots.
So
Okay.
this was the very first cigar that I came up with. So this basically was how Tribal Trilogy started. So
Okay.
Ubaji is the root of my actual cigar line.
Okay. So this is the first one that you crafted.
Yes.
First liga that you came up with. All right. And then what's the make of this? The makeup?
So this is fully Nicaraguan. So you have Nicaraguan binder filler, and then you have the Habano wrapper. So the areas that it's in is Contigo out of Nicaragua, and then I want to say Jalapo.
Chalapa.
Yeah, Jalapa.
Condega.
So that's where the spice comes in at.
Condega.
That's where.
Jalapa.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. So that's the makeup of. So is it so Habano? Is it Nicaraguan Habano?
Yeah, that's
Ecuadorian
it. It's
Habano?
yep, fully Nicaraguan. Yep,
So
that's the
this
Nicaraguan.
is a Nicaragua puro right here.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's got some spice. It's
Yeah,
got some
yeah. It's got
creaminess as well. But I when I think of Nicaraguan puros, I think the profile that Ipi Carrillo offers and Padron, right? Like really bold, punch you in the face, kick you on the nuts. You know what I mean? And it does, dude. This
Yeah,
one's started off pretty mild. It's been building up. It's building up. So
yeah.
it's
It's a
pretty
it's a
nice.
very mellow cigar, and but it's very smooth. It's not it has flavor still. Like my opinion, it still has flavor because some smooth cigars tend to lack that. So I'm enjoying it.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So let's move on to the next one, the Obado. Tell us
Okay.
about that cigar.
Yeah.
What's the makeup of that cigar?
So this one, get it's out of the pack so you can get a better picture. So here we are, right here.
Okay.
Okay. Similar band,
yeah.
just different color scheme.
Yep. Oh no,
Awesome.
actually, so this one is a different band. So this is actually the Prince. I
Oh,
don't know if
okay,
you can
okay.
get a little bit better.
It looks like a blue
Oh,
background, right?
That's
blue
that's
background.
that's the one you're smoking in the picture we posted
Yeah.
on the. Okay, yeah.
So this one is actually, so the difference between this one and the Ubaju, so everything is basically the same. So this one is Nicaraguan filler binder, and then it's Habano risotto.
So
Risotto.
Rosado, right?
Rosado. Okay, so
Rosado.
okay.
Rosado wrapper. So this one is a bit more spicier because the area that is from is where the volcanoes are. So the spice comes over there from the volcanoes and the leaves.
Omatepe.
Um, yes.
Omatepe. Okay. Yeah, you got it.
Um,
And I'm assuming it's got some minerality in there too as well, right? Because of
yeah, like
the
earthy and minerals. Yep.
very mineral driven area there. Okay.
So and then, so that one and
Oh wait,
Obado means
yeah, yeah. What does Obado mean? That was my
it,
next question.
it means community. So the
Community.
reason why I grabbed community is because, again, I mean, Cali, Houston, I mean Cali, Texas, North Carolina, Maryland, like we're now in a smoking community all the way across, the United States. I mean, you
yeah,
sit down, it brings people together with no likes. Everything together is us smoking this. So I wanted to basically, of course, I'm just sitting there like, you know what, the name fits. When we're smoking a cigar together, we are a cigar community. So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
why I came up with that name.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I
That's
totally agree with
great.
you. And cigars bring people together, and you meet new people and network and stuff like that.
and that's how we all met through the leaf.
Exactly. Okay, and so then that's two cigars. So what's let me see. You got the Ucoma.
Yep, you got it. Coma.
That's Maduro. That's a San Andres
You got
wrapper.
it. So it's San Andreas. So
Oh wow,
Pretty.
that's a
Is that a
and that
pigtail? Is that a
I'm not
pigtail on
yep,
top?
yep, exactly. You can see the horsetail.
oh
Oh, it's a
wow.
horsetail. Oh, wow.
Mm.
I didn't see it from the shade. The shade on it. It's
Yeah,
like, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that one is fully Nicaraguan as well with the San Andreas wrapper. You're gonna get the boldness, you're gonna get the flavors, you're gonna get the spice, and you're gonna get three different flavor profiles through.
Okay.
Um, and the reason why I went with the horsetail is because, again, putting it all the way back to the tribal times, warriors, the ponytails, the warriors and everything. So I wanted it to basically be different, eye catching, and you're gonna ask the question like, hey, I've never seen something like that. So I wanted to be different, honestly. And everything about my cigars is different. So the name Ukoma actually means strong man. So of course, with it being a Maduro and it being the strongest, that's where the connection comes in. And then of course with the horsetail, strong men, warriors back in the day fighting, it just all tied together.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Phenomenal. And then the last cigar in your line is what?
The Oma Leche. I'm gonna grab one sec.
All right.
good.
Okay.
Oma Leche.
You want to start going through some of the chat?
Yeah, we got some questions in the chat.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick up Ben's question right now.
Oh, I thought Randall had control the chat too.
Yeah, but not the
Randall.
questions.
Randall's going through the
Oh.
chat. I'm going through the questions.
I get you.
One more time, Frank. One more time.
No, because I'm saying we're falling behind on the chat.
It's okay. It's barely
Where are we
6:58,
behind?
bro. 6:58, bro.
Yeah, we're not that far behind.
Relax, Frank. Relax.
We're not cigars unbanded behind.
Hey, take it easy.
Take it easy.
Hey. Yeah, hey, how's your guys' cigar doing? Mine is smoking great, dude.
Dude,
Look at
Yeah,
this.
mine
good.
too.
And the ash, dude,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's pretty stat. It's nice.
Lo Habano puro, Nicaraguan puro. Interesting.
And he called it, I think he called it a mild body, but I'm getting at least medium.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well,
Like some of the notes.
I'm getting
It's
a
creamy.
mild. I'm getting a mild plus, I think.
Yeah, mild plus, I guess. But that's like,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
I'm getting definitely cream.
You
A
guys
lot of
getting
cream.
any florality on the retrohale? I'm getting a lot of florality.
I'm getting coffee.
Really?
Hmm.
I'm getting like a coffee, like a creamy coffee.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of cream on the retro.
Nice.
Oh, did you find one?
Yeah, so here's the omelette. So the omelette is Habano wrappers, of course, and this actually has some Mexican broadleaf in there, and then it has Nicaraguan filler and binder. So it's
Wow.
a little bit more spicier, um, but and it packs a punch.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay, so
And you
for the
sell
folder.
you sell all these in your cigar mobile lounge, right?
yeah. So it's in my cigar mobile lounge. I'm in a couple shops in the DMV. I'm in Black Box. I'm in Wolfgang Pack. So I'm just trying to extend as far as I can. I have a cutting light in North Carolina, and I have a cutting light in like oh yeah, and then I'm also sent it down to Charleston Smokeout. So yeah,
When's your cut in
Awesome.
light, North Carolina?
the
Just
cutting
asking to
light
be
is
selfish.
in I think it's like the end of June. I found out the name of the place. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, let me know.
Awesome. Hell yeah. So this question here is a little segue to the next thing that we want to kind of touch on. Ben, he's actually growing his own tobaccos here in California,
Okay.
and he's gonna be eventually playing with some ligas. So he's very knowledgeable on the leaf, more than anybody, I think, as
For
far as
sure.
like the actual components of it and all that. Little Mr. Green Thumb over here. Um, he's asking when blending, you put the tips along the thirds for transitions, or more whole leaf all the way through.
Yeah. So holy. So actually when I learned how to roll, originally we were rolling, we were bunching, so we were breaking the leaves up and basically putting them all together. So that's how some people get their three transitions. But then
Mhm.
um I'm not sure. Sometimes you see a cigar, you can kind of see like the holes inside. That's because of the bunching. So what we ended up
Yeah.
doing was now accordion style.
Mhm.
So you get more of a fully heavier cigar. So these ones are actually made with the accordion style versus the bunching. So the transition is literally from the blend of the leaves.
Right. Right. Okay. So it's organic.
Yes.
It happens naturally. So whatever the leaf is giving you, that's what you're getting, right? And
Yeah. So like you guys got like I get the creamy. Um, I get I smoke it. I get almond.
mhm.
Sometimes I get a little bit of caramel. So like it all depends on one, your palate, two, how engaged you are with what you eat. Because I don't eat much, but like the other day when I got the almond, I was like, wow, like I don't even really eat that many almonds. I don't even know how I picked that out. But
Yeah.
so
Yeah, but I think that's a note that like is very recognized, by anybody, because a lot of foods have like walnuts, almonds, cashews, right? Even you're eating like a trail mix, it's got almonds, so we're kind of familiar with that note, right? Your brain right away, it
Picks
triggers
it
it,
up.
right?
Yeah.
So I think we answered AJ's question about the shops in the DMV area. You mentioned a few right now, so he's
okay.
available there. Um, when you were blending your cigars, what's the blend that took you the longest? How many trials?
I'm gonna say the Obudu because it was so, like I said, it was so close to the Obagi, because like I said, the Obagi came first, and then
Hmm.
what I wanted to do was I wanted to step up, but I'm not sure if you guys catch the spice, but I still get spice on the Obagi. So it was like it was coming out pretty much neck and neck. So I had to keep going back and forth, one leaf out, one leaf in. And that's actually the one that took the longest. And again, if you I'll send you guys more, but if you smoke, like, even though it's close in where all of the leaf is from and how it's constructed, they're two totally different cigars.
For sure. And you know what? I did pick up a lot of that spice right off the bat, but it mixed pretty well with that creaminess, so I wasn't mad at it. Um, like I said, for a Nicaraguan puro, it's not very aggressive in my opinion on the palate, even on the retrohale as well.
No, it's
So
nice.
it complements it pretty good for being a Nicaraguan puro. Awesome. And then so what's which cigar was the fastest to create?
The fastest, I would say the Ukoma, because I knew right now San Andreas is the hottest thing in the world. So I knew I wanted to start with the San Andreas. Um, it was very at that point it was easy to get. I can't say how in the next couple of months are going to be because everybody's making a San Andreas cigar at PCA. But
Mm,
um, so that one was actually the quickest because I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew the size, I knew the leaf. I just needed it to be perfected.
awesome. And this question kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about right now. So what's the hardest part about making a new blend or actually making a blend? And for that matter, what would you say is the hardest thing to do
I think
or aspect?
I would say time. Well, all right. So cigar itself, or just everything in general. So,
Just for the blend,
oh, okay,
like
yeah. Oh,
something that you're like, damn, I gotta worry about this, like right off
okay.
the bat, right when you say like I gotta make a new blend, the one thing that comes to your mind, we're like, damn, that's gonna be an issue.
I'd say, like I said, the right now the availability of the leaf.
Mm,
So if you make something that's exquisite, especially with the tariffs and things that's coming, you
mm-hmm.
you might be like these other blends where you cannot get the cigar. So if anybody's looking for advice, like I said, for me, Habano is my thing. I like to smoke Habano. It's like you said, they have Habano in different countries, different leaves. So it's very right now it's very easy to get
Yeah,
or
it's very accessible.
very accessible. Yep.
Yep.
So I would say make sure you have a cigar that you can get your cigar, because if you pick a leaf that you're never going to be able to get, this might be a one hit wonder.
Yeah.
Next thing, of course, is and if you, and also depending on who your roller is or your manufacturer, because some people go to bigger companies. Time wise, you don't get the same cigar every time. I know the two old ladies who roll my cigars. They are the only two old ladies who roll my cigars. So if you put this cigar down and you buy another cigar from me in 6 months, it's going to be the same exact. All of you guys have the same consistency. All of you guys have the same thickness. It's the
Oh
same
yeah.
cigar all the way. I know somebody who has a line. Each cigar that I pick up, it's like, did another person roll it type deal. So you have to also, where you're gonna get your cigars made, where you're getting your leaf from, and storage, humidity is a big thing that I run into, because I'm in Maryland, so we have four seasons. Um, in Nicaragua, they don't have four seasons, so that's another thing that I had to think about. How is the cigar going to withstand my climate, where I
Right.
sell it at right now, versus another climate?
Hell yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
so I kind of getting the idea that you like more punchy, bolder cigars, but that have some mellow notes as well. Is that kind of
That's me, because actually, so
okay?
before 2021, I was smoking Fat Bottom Betty's, I was smoking Factory Smokes, I was smoking all flavored. So I changed my life and started smoking, like I said. So I went from one extreme to a next. But yeah, I like something that has some, I'd say, culture to it. Some flavor, some kick,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
that's gonna have me, definitely complement what I'm drinking, whether it's coffee, whiskey, sparkling water, like you had mentioned earlier. Something that I can smoke every day. Because I have an hour commute to work. I smoke on my way to work and on my way home every day. So I just
Oh,
need something exciting.
oh yeah, nice. Now, is there a note that you would say you try to avoid from your cigars having, or something that's off-putting that you smoked before that you said like, nah, I don't want my cigars to have this type of essence or nuance?
Actually, you know what? I haven't ran into anything that I really thought like, hey, you know what? I wouldn't want my cigar to be like that. But I will tell you the reason why I don't have Dominican leaf in my cigar. So I visited Dominican Republic. I visited a couple farms. I smoked. For me, their cigar, it might be climate, but their cigars are a lot drier. They make you like kind of like, salivate, need some water. So for me, I don't like that. I don't like the dryness. So for me, that's what I stay away from. So that's why actually none of my cigars have any Dominican leaf in it. But that's just a personal thing. Uh-oh. Not sure.
You're muted, Frank. Also, very
It looks
subtle
like he
earlier with
froze.
the. Nah, he's muted, but subtle earlier with the flash on your phone when you were
Yeah,
taking a
sorry
photo.
about that.
He
I'm
was
about
like,
yeah, so I'm about to ash it. I just wanted to show you that it's stepped pretty good. I'm just
No,
afraid
yeah,
it's gonna
it's-
fall on me.
no, yeah. There we go. Yeah, the ash is definitely great. Oh, we lost Hugo.
So yeah, that's fine. We'll power on.
Do you have any plans for future blends that you're like, you don't have to talk about if you don't want to yet, but like already thinking about the future from now, like stuff you're just excited to start doing, and what are your plans for the future with that?
So right now, I'm really focused on just rolling the blend out. I mean, rolling the brand out, getting the brand, as far as I can possibly be. Podcast. I do have plans on trying to be at PCA next year, of course. I'm doing merchandise and things like this. So the next one that I actually want to perfect is actually a barber pole. That was actually going to be my first project. So a couple of my frat brothers, they said they haven't really smoked a barber pole that they really could go to on an everyday basis. So my goal is to actually come up with a barber pole that is collective, that actually everybody would like. Because of course, barber poles, they're special. Some people know how to do them, some people don't. Of course, around St. Patrick's Day, you're gonna smoke a barber pole, but like most of the time, that's not your everyday pickup. I want a barber pole which is an everyday pickup where you're like, hey, you know what? I can go back to that every Friday if I possibly needed to.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about barber pole is the burn gets wonky sometimes because of how it's wrapped. It's it's different wrappers, so definitely a challenge.
Yeah. I actually I was showing the guys a marble pole, I think this morning. It's from Quesada. Have you guys it's like a Quesada little Corona. And that's one of the best barber poles that I've had. I was like, damn, this cigar is good. And Quesada's like a slept on brand, right?
Oh yeah.
So pretty interesting.
Oh no, that's what's great about the cigar industry in general, especially you already have a couple in a line out right now, is that there's something for everybody. They just have to be willing to try it, right?
You got it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Nice. How about we do a little cigar check? My ass just fell.
Yeah, I just tapped mine. So
Yeah.
Oh, Randall, man.
Randall's doing good.
Oh, hold on, let me. Yeah, I'm trying not to ash on my keyboard. Hold on, let me do that. Let me do the YouTube thing and put my hand behind it.
Oh, and by the way, before I forget, we're actually doing a giveaway today. Gonna give away a pack of Tribal Trilogy cigars. So enter hashtag Tribal in the comments if you want to participate in the giveaway.
It's a 4-pack. I think if you said it's all of the blends, right?
Yes.
It's your whole line, right?
Yep.
Everything you have. That's cool.
Well, I'm not jealous at all.
I was about to say. I'm typing tribal in the description.
Let me log
I'm
on to
enjoying this one.
my multiple YouTubes.
Yeah,
Well,
hold
I
on.
have
Let me.
everybody. I have everybody's address now. I mean, like I said, I mean, we're community now. I get you guys some out there. So I definitely like to, especially because you guys brought me on the show. I want you guys to try every last one of my cigars. I need all of the input that I can possibly have, and I need these cigars to touch everybody's hands possible. So
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
within the next week, I'll definitely be sending you guys out some so you could try them out. Give me back your feedback and so on and so forth.
Oh, appreciate it.
Man,
Also, everybody in
that's
the chat, just so you know, I typed in hashtag tribal. If I win, we're re-rolling. I was just fucking around.
hey, you were testing the algorithm or what?
Yeah, no, I was just, I was testing this bottle right here, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna type in tribal. So, anyways,
Nice, nice. So like kind of like a left field question. When you're not smoking your cigars, what type of profile or not we already know your profile, but what brands do you like smoking or a cigar specifically where like it's like your go-to other than tribal cigars?
So my go-to cigars right now. So
And if you don't, that's fine. Because like for me, and maybe for these guys too, like we all have our independent channels and we review cigars. So if you ask me that question, it's gonna be kind of hard because I'm usually most of the time recording reviews, so I rarely get to like enjoy a goddamn Migar, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So
hey,
I get it. I get
personal
it.
preference. Personal preference. This dude's writing a damn book while we're all making cigar articles. This dude's got like 20 cigar reviews going out a week.
Nice.
Actually, that ties into a question earlier. Someone said three cigars in your personal humidor.
Yeah, that's kind of
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it ties back to the question.
so first answer would be like the New World, the one with the
AJ
Cameroon rapper,
AJ
AJ
Fernandez,
AJ
AJ, yeah,
Fernandez.
the red
Um
solid
band.
cigar.
that's my go-to because I love the Cameroon rapper. It's a nice hour smoke if you have you. It's a really nice looking cigar, and price point wise, I'm not spending $18. So that's something I smoke on a regular. Three cigars that are in my humidor right now, other than mine, um, a Liga 9.
That's a good
Um,
one.
Solid.
what else do I have in there? I have a Padron. Was it 10? The 10th anniversary?
The Padron.
Mm,
Yeah,
Padron or Padermo?
Perdomo. Yeah, Perdomo.
Padermo
Mm.
10th anniversary. Okay.
And then what else do I have in there that I can think? So of course down here in the DMV, we have definition cigars. So there's some definition cigars in there.
Oh,
Texas,
nice.
baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because he moved his way down that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um. Of course, I have. I'm real close with Mario, so I have some of Mario's cigars, and I have an 828 in there.
Oh, Casa Caraballo. Yeah,
Yeah.
we,
Yeah.
we, we had him on
Oh,
the
that was a
show.
good one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
yeah,
good
we had him
one.
on the show. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the Maduro 828.
Yeah. Those things they sell pretty well in my lounge. Yeah. So yeah. So those are my three. But
And
Nice.
I imagine you have to smoke a lot of different types of cigars so that you're aware of what you want in your cigars.
Yeah, so what I do when I go in a cigar lounge, which some people might be weird, I look at the actual box that has the least amount of cigars in it, and I'll grab it because I'm like, that must be a good cigar. So I'm going in like, oh, let me grab that, and that's what I'm smoking for the day. Like, so that's kind of where I get in at when I go in a cigar lounge. I might take the recommendation, of course, from somebody like, hey, you know what is your recommendation? Because they normally when you walk in, they're like, I do it too when I'm with customers. Like, what do you smoke? It's like he said, like, I can't really give you what I smoke because I'm smoking everything. But like, what do I like? So yeah, so I normally go in. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, which one has the least amount? Which one is under $20? Because I'm not spending more than $20 on a stick. And which one looks kind of funky? Like that's why I like with my with my bands, or they call them rings, of course.
Mhm.
one thing that somebody told me was, hey, you know what? You have to have a catchy cigar because when you're a new cigar, you're a new. So like, I wanted it where like, my band is gonna catch your eye, whether you're gonna ask a question about it or something like that, or pick it up. Once you have it in your hand, you're already intrigued. So when I see, like the one who has like the Amazon, I like the Amazon. It doesn't have a
Ooh,
band, but the Amazon is like a beautiful
ooh.
cigar.
It's an amazing
Um,
Did you,
cigar.
did you
so
smoke the newest release for 2025?
No, they were gone. I reached out to this lady. She had a box. She wanted to sell it for like 230. I'm like, no thanks. I'll wait till I find somebody who has them. But I'm looking to get one at some point in time. If they ever
A
if I
very
find somebody.
a very handsome gentleman that actually is one of the hosts on this podcast
Sent us.
recently sent me one. So shout out to Sips and Sticks for that one.
Yeah,
I haven't tried it yet. It's in my humidor, but I'm definitely excited about that one.
And
yeah,
if
my
y'all,
man. Yeah,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
sorry. Well,
No,
so
go
if
ahead.
y'all ever have a chance, the extra añejo though, that one is amazing.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, the regular Amazon is really good, but the extra añejo is just that. Oh,
I also hear
love that one.
differences compared to the year. Like people like 23, I think they didn't like 24 as much, and they're liking 25 because it's similar to 23. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's similar to the extra añejo.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm excited.
it's a whole animal, man. It's nice. Um, Uche, you mentioned that you went down to the DR, and I'm assuming you also went down to Nicaragua at one point for tobacco.
Yeah. So
Um,
go. Go ahead.
yeah, how was your experience going down there, man? Like, was it like because it's totally different from the states, right? Traveling to Central
Yeah,
America, man.
yeah. So, I'm fortunate enough that I've been to a couple countries. So, like before going down there, I went to Costa Rica. Before, I went to the party side of DC. But with my parents being from Nigeria and Jamaica, I'm familiar with the quote unquote rural. So, you
Hmm.
know, I didn't expect it to be what some people think. So, I mean, it was nice. Um, and just to see the land and things like that. But I definitely, in the next couple months, I'm planning a trip to go back down, spend some time down there on the farm and things like that. But
Nice.
comparable, yeah. So it's not like going to Mexico, Cancun, as I would say.
It definitely
Yeah,
isn't. It
a
definitely
non-tourist, no
no way.
tourist area.
isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Any learning experiences that you went down there where like something maybe that you were worried about and turned out fine, or like you get into some trouble down there? Anything you got? Any stories you got?
So I mean, actually, I mean, the thing about it was I had already did a little bit of research. I was a little bit afraid because you're like you're going to these rural areas. There's
Yeah,
no Uber, there's no towers and things like that. But everybody that I encountered, good people. Everybody's trying to teach you. Everybody's trying to get somebody to buy from their farms and things like that. So like everybody had an open door policy, man. Like it was very really rewarding to see the different places that I went to, meet the different people. And I mean, I got a lot of good cigars down there too. So yeah, I would say go with an open mind. Go with an open mind. And just have fun.
oh
Have
yeah,
fun and then learn as much as you can. Make sure you have some time and make sure your phone stays charged.
take an
Well,
extra battery pack.
yeah.
or
So when you
whiskey.
went out there, do you have somebody that helps you, like the translate, or do most of the places you go, people do speak English, or do you speak Spanish?
Google Translate, brother.
It
So
works. It
Google
works.
Translate, I'm not going to sit here and tell you like. So I took 4 years of Spanish in high school. I took um 2 years
Not
in
enough.
college, and it's not the same. So like I can ask where the bathroom is. I can ask some food. Where this direction, but like because of course it's just like British English and US English. Like they don't speak the same Spanish. So
and it's way
You know what
faster
I
too.
did? You know what I did? I married a translator. My wife's Ecuadorian. I just go, hey, you're talking for both of us now. Tell them we want a table. You know, tell them I would like a cerveza grande, por favor.
Say,
I
like,
mean, no, but I love my wife's Ecuadorian. We go to the non-tourist areas because she's not from the tourist areas anyway, and it's obviously anybody who can travel. It's great. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. There's nice people everywhere.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, there's one thing I was going to ask you about Nicaragua. Oh, the sourcing the tobaccos, was that pretty easy, or was it challenging to actually get somebody to sell you the leaf?
so Gomez Cigars, which is the farm that we use. He has contracts. He grows his own stuff. So all of the tobacco that I needed, he was able to get. I mean, even the stuff again, the San Andreas and things. He actually is the top one of the top cigar manufacturers for India and Canada. He just hasn't hit the U.S. yet. So like
Oh,
he has the product that anybody needs.
okay.
And his factory is nice and clean. His father actually has his own farm as well. So like it's a father and son type deal. He has his own and his father has his own. So I believe if he can't get it, his father's been in the business a lot longer.
Yeah.
So basically whatever you need and want, he can get for you.
Huh.
Sure.
Um, anything that we would recognize that comes out of that cigar factory?
Well, that's a good
Uh,
question.
so actually I don't think so. Not here. I mean he makes well his father actually makes some Mario cigars. Um
The Casa Caraballo.
yeah, Casa Caballo. That's really and of course up top comes from there, but that's the only ones that in the US right now, of course, like I said, because he's really trying to tap into this area. I'm not sure of the actual cigar brands that he sells in Canada. But yeah, I don't think there's any that we would recognize.
Okay, cool. So you said because they export more to India and Canada,
Mhm.
obviously.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look, I made it to the final third before I asked. Before it asked, I didn't ask it. It asked.
Hey guys, don't forget to hit the hashtag tribal to enter a chance for a 4-pack of all the blends that Tribal Trilogy has. You know, we still got a little bit of time left before the raffle kicks in, so make sure you hit that hashtag. Also, hit the like, subscribe.
Bro, that's what I was gonna say. Like, oh, he's gonna
Yeah.
say hit the like button.
No, well, you know the tribal, and then of course hit the like and subscribe if you're there. I mean, why not?
That's
What's
cool.
your favorite? Do you retrohale at all?
Me?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I'm still
Which
trying to
thing?
learn. I'm still actually trying to learn. So
Oh man,
yeah,
that's how you get. It's your cigar is good in the retro. I've been retrohaling
Yeah.
consistently, but I was gonna ask you what's your favorite one of yours to retro, but
so while I'm trying, it's the Obodo. Because I get a totally different flavor pushing it out. So the Obodo it's a nice and even though it's a medium, it's a nice smooth. Actually, all of them actually have small smooth retro hails. Even the Ucoma, which is the Maduro, very smooth retro hail. For me, while I'm trying, that's the one that's the easiest and I like the most. The Ucoma is kind of harder for me, and I don't understand. I don't know why, because it's supposed to be the same. Because
Mhm.
hookah I can retro hail like no, anything, but I think it's like me just trying to like make sure I don't inhale it and cough and all of that. So it's like, I'm in here like so.
Yeah, it took me a while
dude,
to do it, and I'm just barely at the point where like I could do it consistently. But you can ask Google and the guys like I hadn't done the retro until like maybe about a couple months ago.
Okay.
Dude,
Yeah, and I've been
as
smoking for a couple years now.
As JD said, it's all about the lungs now. No, I'm kidding. No. Retrohale. I will say this: if there's one thing that's addictive about cigars, it's when you learn to retrohale. It is something that is hard to stop. If you do it a lot, I mean, I probably do it too much because someone made a comment on one other episode, retrohale 4 or 5 times the whole cigar because you're going to blow out your sinuses. You're going to, but it's such a good way to get everything you need. And I'm not being a purist about this. Like, if you don't retrohale, that's fine. I don't care. It's just for me personally, it's such a hobby now. Like, every puff from the beginning all the way up to the end, I'm retrohaling it. Probably not good for my sinuses, but I'll tell you something. I breathe so good now.
Nice. So obviously your cigars are considered boutique, smaller production scale. And over the last, I don't know, ever since COVID, I think there's been a burst of like these clubic boutique brands, right? Would you say that there's something about your cigars that stands out from these other boutique brands?
I say my cigars will surprise you. Just like you said, I mean, most mild sticks don't have any flavor. They don't have any spice to it. So somebody will pick up my cigar and like, wait, I thought you said this was mild. So and my cigars, each time I smoke it, I get a different note. So like
Oh
my
wow.
my cigars, like they have you coming back for more.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say about my cigars. I took my time with them. And my cigars have a story behind them. Some people just come out with cigars and that's it. So I feel like they're now a part of me. When I look at the logo, when I look at the rings, when I look at the cigars, I'm like, man, like you did that.
Mhm.
And just like he was asking me earlier, like, what's the plan? Like, I don't really think I'll ever have. You come back to me in 4 or 5 years from now, it's only going to be one extra one, of course, when I get the last one. But like, I'm not gonna be that person who has 12 different cigars. Nothing against them. It's just for me, like when you see a Louis Vuitton bag only has a couple, designs. So that's really what I want. I want my cigars are gonna be that cigar that you come back. It's the same cigar every time. The consistency is great. Um, the construction is optimal. So I'd say, my cigars lined up to some other boutique cigars, you would think my cigars were out longer, because of how much time I took into it and try to make sure it's perfect.
All right. So unique profile, great construction, is what you're basically saying about your blends, right?
Lined up to some other boutique cigars, you would think my cigars
What?
were out
What's
longer.
that?
I'm sorry. Did you guys get that? I don't know if my
We
audio.
got it.
Yeah.
No, I said that as far as like what stands out is like the profile, in your profile, the profile and construction stands out the most, right, from
Yep.
other boutique.
Yes.
Nice. So we got a question here from Whittleback Cigars asking, do you receive the bulk cigars from the factory, and do you store them, and how do you store them, or they just get distributed directly to your retailers?
So no, they all come to me first. They all come to me first. I have two, like, I wouldn't say industry style, but I have two big humidors that actually are taking up my whole living room. So I make sure, and I make sure the humidity is correct. So I store them. They're all stored here, and they're sent out on order. So like, say for instance, the 7 stores that I'm in, every time they get the order, I take it from the bigger humidor and put it into the smaller humidors, store it in there for about a week. I make
Okay.
sure everything is good, but I have them all in the correct climate and
Okay.
humidity.
I
So
love this band. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna interrupt real quick. This is such a cool freaking band.
Thanks,
It's
man.
a cool band.
I
It's a
might
great
have to
band.
send you a shirt too. I have shirts. I
Hey, you have
have
hats,
hats.
right?
I have hats.
Let me
I
Yeah.
show.
have.
Yeah, dude,
Let me show it because I think my camera is better, bro.
yeah. Your camera's definitely better. Mine's a little cheapy camera.
And
I don't
and
want to use
then
my phone.
and then Randall's is like top notch, but he's got a
Well,
focus
yeah,
over
but
there.
he's got a badass.
Hey, yeah. Well, I want to ask you something because we had a guest last week that was talking about their boxes, and they didn't different iterations of their boxes. When your cigars come in boxes, how much attention do you put towards the attractiveness of your box to sell your cigars?
So every single so this is crazy because a lot of stuff is in house. Our shirts come from us. I outsource my hats and some other things, but each box is actually curated by my family.
Okay.
So when we because one with when I send the boxes to the shops, if you ever go into a shop, where do you see the boxes when they're done? You see them on the floor. So a lot of money goes into these boxes, and people throw them out. So actually, our boxes are manufactured. I order them from a local guy, and I get the boxes made, and then I actually put the boxes together.
Mm,
I put so, and actually, if you get one of my boxes, what I actually did was, in each box, you get some of the leaf that's in the cigar because no matter what anybody says, you cannot smell a cigar through cello. My cigars are celloed. So I want you to pick up the leaf and be able to smell the leaf and feel the leaf that you're about to smoke before having to uncello my cigars. I've some people have perfected the box with the uncello, but for me, when I stored cigars uncellowed, they get dry. You drop one, it gets ripped up. I don't have, being a boutique brand, every cigar counts. I can't drop a cigar and destroy it. But yeah, every box that's sent from here is curated by me. At this point, I can't say, in the next couple years because I am developing a box from Nicaragua. But for now, the boxes are handmade, and then the cigars are put in by me and put together by my family.
awesome,
It
man.
sounds like you pay attention to the important stuff, which is construction quality, and then the extra stuff will come later, right?
You got it.
Exactly. Okay. That's really
Nice,
cool.
nice.
That's the
So
way to do it. I
how
mean,
many units are you pumping out a month or
It's
try
it, it it's
quarter or
it's
what?
so my first order was in November. I've already had an order and a half since then, and we're in what, April.
Yeah,
So I'm pushing out 3 to 4 thousand, at least 1,000 a month. Um, and that's between the stores that I'm in right now, and I think by quarter 3, that's definitely going to double or triple. Because and it's
nice,
crazy because like my hashtag, if anybody, our other hashtag is choose your tribe. So in addition to tribal trilogy, I ask people to hashtag choose your tribe when you're smoking the cigars. There'll be sometimes that my cigar will come up. I don't even know these people. My cigar will come up on my page on Facebook or Instagram. I'm like, man, they didn't tag me. Why didn't they tag me? So like, people are out here smoking this cigar, and I don't even know. Um, and so it's exciting anytime. Like all right, say for instance, I went to a shop. I took it to a shop in Luxby, Maryland, which is about an hour away from me. Gave the guy the box on a Friday. He was making room for my cigars, so he wasn't putting them out to the following Friday. He calls me on Wednesday and he's like, "Do you know somebody brought in Newcoma to me to show me this and tell me that I should get this cigar?" And he's like, "I know he didn't get it from me because I haven't put them out yet." So like, it's exciting when I'm running into people who have my cigar, or they're like, "Oh, like I might be in a lounge and say, 'Hey, you ever smoke, the Tribal Trilogy?'" And they're like, "No," and I'll pass them the cigar, and they're like, "Oh, I got that from Invictus Cigars. I know that cigar." So yeah, definitely, it's actually it surpassed my expectations thus far. Like, I didn't think I would be selling as much this quick. Just, being a boutique brand, being small, but I really feel like the quality of the cigar, the bands definitely, because you know when you buy a box, you get a pearl as well. I mean, some people are wearing a pearl without the cigar. They're smoking another cigar and they have my pearl because I took my time, to make my logo, which can withstand without the cigar as well. So I think I'm really trying to go a long way.
Hell yeah, awesome. So how about we run the giveaway? I think
It's a great logo. Honestly, I'd put it on a shirt or a hat or a cup or
yeah,
something.
it's nice. Let's see. We
Oh,
got
we lost Frank now.
it's okay. We're giving stuff away
He'll
right
come
now.
back.
We
Yeah,
don't
he'll
need
come
him.
back.
Let's see. Okay, so we got 16 entries. See if Frank comes back.
15, because one is me, just to be facetious and funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's really 15, because if I get called, like I said, we're gonna re-roll it.
Oh, actually, I think there was like some storms in Frank's area, so he had
Yeah, that
some.
could be it.
He said he was gonna have maybe some troubles with the electricity. But all right, let's go ahead and run it. All right.
Uche, hit us with a retro while we run it.
Damn, I saw your name right there. Damn, I keep on seeing
Oh,
your name, bro.
no. Okay, oh, good. Woo.
Oh, Benjamin.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Ben. Congratulations. All right, here's. All right, we're good.
And you're back in just in time, bro. We just
Just
ran the
in time,
giveaway.
bro.
My
And I almost won.
my web browser just decided to like update at the very last minute. I'm like, man, what the hell?
Don't you just hate it when that happens?
Dude, and no, dude, go figure that the IT guy has issues with his computer.
Nice.
So who won? Ben won?
Yeah,
Ben
Ben.
won.
All right, Ben. Hell yeah.
Dude, Ben won Sean's giveaway the other day. He got some flashlights, and now he's getting some cigars.
Fleshlights.
Flashlights?
Fleshlights. This dude's on everything, y'all. Ben's OnlyFans is Ben fucking
Hey, he was like, yeah. He was all happy. I won, and he had no idea what he won. We're making fun of him. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Wow. That's awesome. Ben's a good guy. I like Ben.
Congrats, Ben.
Congrats, Ben.
Congrats, man. Thanks.
I love all y'all guys, right? But I'm saying Ben's pretty cool too.
Uche, so you mentioned you don't want to have too many lines in your portfolio. Yeah. So you plan on staying with only 4 lines, or do you plan on expanding a little bit, or what's the deal?
Yeah, so probably 5. Because I want to perfect the barber pole. The only other thing I see is maybe, so three of the 4 or 6 inches. I might cut them down. But they're going to be the same blend. So right now, that I do want to just stick with, where I'm at, because I don't want to go. I guess you would say this is comfort. I want to stay within the comfort zone for now. Be perfect. Let everybody, really fall in love with the cigars before trying anything else. You look at, Ford, Mercedes, Toyota, like some of them haven't changed their body style in years, because people like it. That's what I want. I don't want to add on too much in too little time, and it loses the momentum that it's at.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my 4-year plan is not to roll out any more than what I have. Because I want everybody to really love where we're at. Yeah, so I don't expect to bring anything else at this time. Like I said, I'm a Habano lover, so that's what you get. I had to throw in a San Andreas because it's the hottest thing. It's a great cigar. It's a Maduro.
You gotta have San Andres.
So right now, that's where I'm gonna stay at. And especially because the ties to you know my tribe and things like that. Oh well, and that's the thing. So the barber pole. So I have the warrior, I have the strong man, I have the prince, and of course, without a prince, you need a queen. So that's what the barber pole is going to be. So that's where it'll come in at. And of course, with me Nigerian and Jamaican, that's where the barber pole comes in, because you're tying two traditions into one to make me, basically. So that's where I'm gonna swing it. So more than likely, it'll be a combination of like a habano and something else, of course. But yeah, so that's how I'm gonna tie in that barber pole, because me together is two different traditions, countries, languages, and tribes.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way you like describe how your train of thought is making your cigars, and it's all based on your family, your tradition. Dude, that's it's amazing.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I will say I've been drinking. So so
Shocker!
I'm gonna go philosophical here. What I love about human creation is the creator always draws from what they know, right? I used to work with a dude who was writing a book. I read his book. Yeah. And it was all stuff like I knew the guy, right? So I knew the author, and I was reading his book and I was like, this guy, like it was stuff we knew about. We worked together in a grocery store, and he had similes to like she scanned me like I scan a can of peas across. I'm like, oh my god, dude, this is never leaving the grocery store. This book is never leaving. So, what I love about human creation in general is that I love that uh, if you love something and you put it out there, people can identify with it no matter who they are. They just have to appreciate it. And
Hell
that's what
yeah.
I gotta say. That's my drunk philosophy at this moment.
Awesome. And like Guess said, I think every time you get drunk or you're drinking, we can tell because your face gets kind of red, bro.
That's the beauty filter. I keep it at 50%. If I turn it off, I look away. I'm hideous.
Okay, guys, I think we need an intervention for Randall. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's like what happened to the early episodes when this dude used to drink sparkling water, right?
Right? Fucking, he used to be
Yeah,
fucking down in his Pellegrino water, like chuk, 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 chuk.
I
Yeah,
know.
he
So
changed it for his bourbon bottle.
so
Uh,
my
uh,
alcohol consumption for another episode. Getting back to yours.
yeah, but Uche, any different vitolas that you're thinking about, or maybe like a LE down the road?
I haven't even thought that far. I haven't thought that far. Um, like I said, I'm really just focusing on these ones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm just focused on these ones for
Cool.
now.
Yeah,
I I
I love
definitely feel
that.
like you get a different one each time. So
yeah.
So I know like a lot of boutique brands also do like their yearly cigar. Do you ever have anything like that? Like say like this is the cigar for this year. You want to do like a different one for next year, or is it all going to be just all the same, or how do you plan to moving forward? I know you want to keep your four blends, but uh, any like plans to like make it like a yearly thing, or maybe like a limited edition or something like that?
so the thing about it is you have the three major ones, right?
Mhm.
So you have the Ubaji, you have the Obodo, and you have the Okoma. Those are the ones that are in stores. So the Omaleche actually came about. It was a special blend that I wanted to try. And that one is the one where when I do my cutting lights, you do the buy four get one free. So people liked it so much that I actually had to go ahead and get it banded, because as you can see, the one that I showed you is unbanded.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So it in my so it's the same cigar, but I am coming out with a different variation. So this one has a Habano. I asked for a score. I asked for 300 Oscuros because I want people to try out their Oscuro. So to answer your question, that would be the one that would change on a yearly basis. So you may get a Oscuro, you may get a Habano. Hey, I might even say, let me try it in the Connecticut because I don't have a Connecticut in my line, which I said
Mm,
I'll never have. So like
It'd be
Yeah.
that
fun.
that
It'd be
that's
fun.
gonna be the one, especially because it's 5 inches is a little bit easier to make. So that's the one to answer your question would be the one that I'd say, hey, you know what, I'm switching it up. So I have my three cores, and then that fourth one would be the one that you might get a different one the next time you see me. You might see, right now it's black banded. The squirrel is going to have a red band, but still has the same name because it's still omeleche. So I never told you the meaning of omeleche is beautiful, because
that's
Oh,
what I
the
was gonna ask.
so the cigar it's a beautiful cigar. When you smoke it, it surprises you what you're smoking. And like I said, with the Scoro, um I think it's going to give it a total different twist. So I'm just going to literally keep the same binder and filler, and the wrapper is what I'm going to change,
Okay.
because of course that's what most of your flavorings coming from. So
Yeah.
yeah, to answer your question, that one is the one that's probably going to be twisted, you know.
that's awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you brought up Connecticut. Just from a person that's really dwelling into Connecticut's over the past year and a half, make sure your Connecticut's a banger, bro. Because if you make a good Connecticut, people are gonna go after all the other cigars for sure, bro.
True. True.
It's kind of like where like people want to start off like, well, let me see this Connecticut, like because there's a generalization that like Connecticut suck, and a lot of them do, like you mentioned earlier in the podcast. So when you get a Connecticut that hits, that's got like interesting notes, interesting transition, nuances, the whole kitchen, the whole 9 yards. It's like bam, that brand is money,
And it's funny because like when I first started, all I would like, of course, I did all the infuse, the Cubas and all that stuff. But now, and then then I started off with the Connecticut's, and then I went away from that. So like I did not like Connecticut's after a while because you started going to the medium, full body. But now that I've been in the doing nothing but the full body, you go back to the Connecticut, and now you can pick up all these flavors that when you're first starting you didn't know. So now as a I mean, I'm not as seasoned as a lot more other people, but as a seasoned smoker now, you pick up a Connecticut and you're like, damn, you see all these, pick up all these different flavors that at first you didn't really pick up. So that's why like what Hugo says, having a banger of a Connecticut just sets your brand apart, and it's going to be, hopefully you do have one, because I mean, if this is the lighter end of your cigars, dude, this is pretty good. And then you go into Connecticut with this kind of profile and a little bit of spice,
Oh
it's
yeah,
gonna
for
be
sure.
it's gonna be good.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. I,
So
I think somebody asked a question. The guest he asked about if I'm in seven shops. I guess he was telling me, um, it'll keep and tell you what to change. So
yeah,
he's right, because right now, so I thought so. The Bodu, right? The
Uh-huh.
Bodu is my top stick. That's my favorite. That's what I smoke. And it's the in between, because you go to some shops, everybody wants to smoke bold. Some people don't want to smoke mild. So I originally thought that the Bodo was going to be everybody was going to smoke that cigar. Um, and everybody actually loves the Okoma, but like with this one, um, the Obaji, that's why I brought it on the show and I wanted you guys to smoke it, because what's happening is a lot of people aren't going towards this cigar. So now what I have to do is, now when I do my cutting lights, this will be the one that I'm gonna give away free, because they're missing out, because
Hmm.
the Obodo, I smoked that on a regular, but then I was like, hey, especially leading up to the show, I was like, let me smoke this Ubaji every day, because I need to know how to talk about it, like really get into it.
yeah, for sure.
So this is actually moved to be actually one of my favorite. And the thing about it is, you don't expect for me to say my mildest stick on the bottom of my line to be spicy or to give out the notes that it does. So that he's right. Like I have some places where the Ukoma sells out. I have some places the Ukoma sits on the shelf. So I do know my clientele. There's some areas where, I'm not even going to put the Ubaji in there because they're not even going to grab for it. One, because it's a torpedo. Two, because I say it's medium. But my medium might not be your medium. My bowl might not be your bowl. Each person who smokes it is different. So he's absolutely right. The market actually drives where it goes. I think somebody else asked which DMV areas I'm in. So I'm in Fort Washington area. The cigar locations that I'm in: Invictus Cigars, which is in Waldorf, Maryland; Mr. C's, which is in Luxby; La Old Mills, which is in Northern Virginia, Alexandria area. Then a little bit down the road, Smoke and Mirrors in Fredericksburg; Orleans After Dark, which is in Fredericksburg. And again, like I said, in Stafford Tobacco, which is a tobacco shop in Stafford, close to Quantico area. And then I'm tapping on some doors in some other places. I'm I was in the box of Black Box Cigars for the April debut, and he also has me on his online stores.
Nice.
Wolfgang Pack has me on his online. He has the Obodo and the Ukoma in his lineup on his online.
So you're saying Wolfpack cigars?
Yes, Wolfpack cigars. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Dope.
And then I also sell, on my website Dapper Cigar Lounge, and then you could DM me on the Dapper Cigar Lounge IG or the Tribal Trilogy by DC.
Oh
I
yeah.
I do plan on getting a Tribal Trilogy by DC website within the next few months. But currently, if you go to Dapper Cigar Lounge, it'll steer you over to cigars, and you can get them from there.
I
Nice.
have a cool question.
Go ahead.
If you could collaborate with one celebrity, who would it be?
For a cigar, like to make a cigar.
First, yeah, for a cigar.
So I'm gonna say so. My fraternity is Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. I'm gonna say Cedric the Entertainer.
Oh
Um,
Okay,
shit.
okay, that's cool.
I,
That's cool.
I like I'm a comedian myself, behind closed doors. But but I identify with him because he's a comedian. He's the same fraternity as me, and I think that he smokes what I like to smoke. And his personality matches very well, I think, with my line. So I'd say Cedric the Entertainer.
I'll hit him
Nice.
up right now. I got him in my contact.
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Yep.
No, that's
So
And
pretty cool.
after Cedric, probably Usher. Usher
Okay.
down in Atlanta because, of course, hot Atlanta. Um,
hmm
and he can get it his way. So
You know what I was just reminded of recently? I was watching scenes from that movie, The Faculty. I forgot he was in it. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Anybody remember that movie?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Faculty.
yeah.
He was a high school kid. I was like, how old am
That's
I?
Usher. Yeah.
How old am I? Yeah.
for
Cool, man.
sure.
Well, that's the one
always
that
a
they're
fun
aliens,
question.
right? Where they're like alien.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And the
Usher.
school, yeah.
Yeah.
Usher was a football player, I think. And no, yeah, that's always a fun question because
Oh yeah.
it's like who do you identify with in celebrity terms that smoke cigars and all that stuff?
We got a comment here from Rights and Grind. Good year, wrong choice, 1911.
Oh, I got you, brother.
For sure. So, some closing thoughts. We're getting here at the end of the segment. Some advice, for anybody that wants to start their own cigar brand or maybe starts, selling cigars online or in person, that you can share.
I'd say take your time. For me, I have a family. I have two kids. I have a full-time job. You definitely have to put in what you put in. You're gonna get out. Um, don't get discouraged. For me, I feel like I said, it has exceeded my expectations. It's moving a lot quicker than I thought. And be yourself. Don't lie. I don't tell anybody I'm a professional and so on and so forth. Like, you know, I just I've been in the quote unquote cigar world since 2001. I was into selling cigars again, like I said, with Up Top, which I felt like made me, opened up doors and knocking on doors and going into places. And when you get a no, don't take it personal. Because I'm part of Boutique Cigar Association, and there was a gentleman who was saying that they need to remove the name boutique, and maybe call it small batch or something like that. Honestly, I feel like we have we have our own niche. If you have good product, the product is going to sell. I
Yeah,
did an event last night,
definitely.
and it was actually, it's crazy because I did an event last night. It was supposed to be a cigar event. It ended up being, they booked two people. They booked a cigar event, and they booked a marijuana vendor. So I sold like
Oh wow.
I was able to tap in and get a couple
Okay.
sales. But for me, if I sell one cigar, that makes me happy, because that's one person. And again, you could, even if you never smoke it again, I can add you to a tick on my wall. That's 1,000 people who smoke my cigar. So for me, take your time. Know that you're gonna run into, drawbacks. Don't put anything out that you wouldn't smoke yourself, and enjoy it yourself. Like, make sure you make a cigar that you can smoke on it every day. And for me, you know some brand owners will tell you, smoke only your cigar. I don't just smoke my cigar, because like you said, you got to smoke other cigars to see what's out there, see how you can make yours better. We're
Yeah,
gonna fall down, we're gonna get back up. um, and my recommendation, like somebody told me, make sure your ring or your band is fire, because
yeah.
that's the first thing. I mean,
Some
you
people
could,
smoke with their eyes.
yeah. You walk into the lounge. You want something like my boxes. I have the logo right on the back, like so. People might not even know anything about my cigar, but they definitely know my logo. So make your logo catchy. Take your time, and I'm not saying invest $1 million. Like for me, like I started off with three. I don't want to move up, because I mean it costs money.
Hell yeah.
So perfect what you have. Push your brand as hard as you can, and put your heart into it. That's what I did.
Awesome. And
And you
you know
should be.
what? One thing that's a pet peeve of mine is where like we have guests or anybody, in the cigar industry, when they say my cigar is the best, you haven't said those words, which is awesome. You're gonna let the smoker, the consumer, let the cigar speak for itself, right? After they try it and give you feedback, that's phenomenal. And
Yeah,
that's
I agree. We hear
that
that a lot.
I
something.
also like the fact that you just said right now that it's okay to hear a no, because it's not gonna affect your cigar, or it shouldn't affect you, because we've had guests before that are like, yeah, I don't like hearing a no when we give people like a sample, like a lounge a sample of our cigars, and they don't ever get back to us. I mean, it's like, again, not every lounge is gonna pick up your brand, but there, for every one that's not, another one will. If one door closes, a bunch will open. You know what I mean?
Hey, what's your longest cigar right now?
My longest cigar is the Ukoma.
Is a Toro, a Robusto, 5.6?
It's a Toro.
Toro. Okay. Are you offering at all a Churchill? I know some people, you talking about smoking with your eyes. Some people are like, I want the biggest bang for my buck. I want the 7. Are you going to offer a 7 at some point? I think you had mentioned you want to make sure best blend for everything.
Mhm.
I know there are people out there. Me in my early career, right? I get paid for this. No, me and my early me and my early self was like, yo, I want a 2-hour smoke. I want a
Yeah.
Churchill. Are you going to offer one at some point?
Yeah. So I'm gonna let the consumers tell me. Um, but I definitely, like I said, I definitely these are the staples. At some point in time, they will or may come in other sizes. Just like you said, I mean, because for me, you know, a 6, I can smoke that in 30 minutes. My lady calls me a choo-choo train smoker because you know,
Damn, 30 minutes.
I don't put it down
Fast,
so
bro.
like I said, I mean these I smoke these cigars on my way to work. My commute is little under an hour. So like you said, I mean, when I find out what my best seller is, you might end up seeing a Churchill because then that allows my customer to enjoy it more. The only thing that I again with rolling cigars with the Churchill is it has to be perfect because now you're talking about thirds. I don't what like I was on a podcast and the guy thought it was going to mellow out, but what it ended up doing was accelerating closer to the end. With a Churchill, I have to make sure it's super perfect because I don't want it to lose, the profile that it started off with. So that's something that I have to consider when I'm actually developing. But yeah, definitely that's not a no-go. I want to have I even want to have like the little the I don't know what they're called, but the super mini ones.
The
Cigarillo,
shorties, like
Yeah,
I guess you
yeah,
could call it shorty. You
yeah.
call it a yeah.
cigarillo,
Cigarillo, yeah, because
Rothschild, mini Corona, Petit
yeah,
Corona.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Chode. A chode is a 460.
Well,
a big boy, but a small,
well,
45-minute smoke.
I think this image speaks a lot of
Yeah.
words.
And
I
Oh,
know
this
Yeah.
guy smokes till it's Adams anyway. So
this, and what, one thing that I do gotta say is that you know, like most cigars, they fall off at the end, but this one hasn't. It's actually got like a lot mellow at the end here instead of like being charred and like off-putting. So good job on that. But yeah, but to
yeah.
close off the segment, Uche, go ahead and plug in your social media accounts where they can find you, and then we'll go around and plug in anything we got to say.
perfect. So the website is
Oh wait, no,
dappercigarlounge.com. Oh, wait.
no domains. Wait,
Oh,
sorry.
all right. Oh, my bad.
Any,
All right. So
anything but domains.
so my IG is Dapper Cigar Lounge, and then the other IG is Tribal Trilogy by DC. So you can
Awesome,
find me on both of those. Thank you.
cool. Frank.
For me, I just have some more reviews coming out. I just released the unboxing and another review, so I got a couple more reviews that should be out this week, and just keep smoking.
Awesome. Randall.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to this because I'm finally ahead a little bit. Friday, I have a Cuban review coming out.
Sick.
The Romeo y Julieta #1, and then maybe Sunday or Monday I have another video coming out talking about where Cubans, not humans, where Cubans fit into my life, and then
Cuban people or Cuban cigars?
Cuban cigars.
Oh, okay.
And then as I'm releasing that, I'm filming either the Amazon Basin 25 or the
Nice.
oh God, whatever. What Frank? What'd you give?
The AG, the AG.
Yeah, the AG. Either the Amazon Basin or the AG.
Okay, cool.
And so that'll come out, and then I'm going to do a part 2 of 5 mistakes sometime next week. 5 more mistakes you make that you can't correct as a cigar smoker. So I have something to say about things
Awesome.
that are coming out. So
Nice. Good, guys. For me, hell yeah, that looks dope.
yeah, merch is great, man.
So after some YouTube issues, tomorrow is going to be the Padron 60th anniversary release, and then Friday morning live. Probably going to be smoking a house blend on Friday, and Saturday I'm dropping a Cavalier, which I think it's the first Cavalier on the channel. So pretty excited about that. Spoiler alert, I liked it, so stay tuned for that.
Nick, man.
Dope.
He's right, man.
All right, man. So, Chat, thanks for hanging on
Thanks,
to the
guys.
end. Thanks, Uche, for coming on to the podcast, giving away some cigars so that people can try it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good night.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks, guys.